Hello, it's the normal playing guy. Right, crazy news as expected, and you kind of knew there were. LR Bio Broly has come out. Yeah, sure. This will kick off part 3. It is actually a free to play LR, right? So there is that. So I got it mostly right. It is an LR Bio Broly, why not? But I suppose it was too much to ask for people's wallets to pay for 3 LRs, right? But yeah. Looks like you can easy A this one straight away, which is pretty interesting. So that's something. But this will be pretty easy to do. It's content-ish. There's been a bit lack of content, I suppose, a little bit. You'll just be able to rock the Ginyu team and just cruise through this. So, our extreme physical with an instant easy A. Interesting. We'll have a quick look between them. I know that the other free-to-play Easy A Bio Broly, like the free-to-play one, the tech one, he's been out for the longest of times. He's probably going to go from 0 to hero, judging by how old he is, but hey. So we have an entrance animation. Key 8. Wow. Key plus 8 to 10. Oh, it's from 8 to 10 randomly. You get random amounts of key. Recover 26% HP at the end of your turn, and a guaranteed super attack for 3 turns on the uncontrollable power ally on the team. Well, that's actually pretty good, right? Because he's going to be on uncontrollable power. Super attack. Raises attack 30% for the turn and lowers attack. You do get 30% defense. Okay, remember this is pre-Easy A, which is interesting how they have an Easy A straight off the bat. To the point, you might as well have just made him this strong, right? Otherwise, you get 2 key, which is weird how that's just separate, 150% to stats, and reduce damage by 20% on super attack. Now, if you factor in your 18 key, it does actually give you stats. That's not so bad. Reduce damage by an additional 20% when allies are from the uncontrollable power. And it's got to be in the same turn, but again, I don't think that's going to be too difficult to get. Damage reduction rates plus 6% with each turn past up to 30. And starting from the 7th turn, you lose the damage reduction at 6%, no more than 30. So you gain and build, and then weirdly you lose it. Right, okay. Well, for the first 7 turns in the battle, that's not so bad, because what? You're gonna that's 5 turns, so you're gonna have 30% damage reduction. You're gonna have 50% damage reduction then, basically, because you are gonna rock uncontrollable power, right? It's all in the same turn, but chances are you are. Then there's this. So if he goes first, he's gonna have 70% damage reduction. That's pretty bonkers. And of course, when he loses this, he goes down to 40%. But honestly, I mean, he's going to have LR stats, like, he's going to be 100%, so it's very much easy to see this. 13,000 defense, 19,000 attack, 22,000 health. Yeah, with the damage reduction, actually, he's going to be very strong. Right, let's, before we check links and whatnot, let's check out these Easy A. So, I'd imagine this might go to 150 and there'll be something new. There is actually some slightly new stuff. Yeah, so it's 4 key 150, fine. Anything changed? Let's have a look. Entrance animation randomly gets at least 8 key to 10. Randomly at the start of the turn. Still 26% HP at the end of the turn. Additional super attack for 4 turns. So basically it's just gone up by a turn. That's nice. LR stats don't get the additional on this, so you know that's fine. But still, we get 3 key 180% to start. We'll sort off. You get 3 key 50% to crit, so that's nice. 180% to stats and 30% damage reduction now instead of 20. Okay. Super attack effect greatly raises attack 50%. Still lowers attack. Greatly raises attack and defense. Very nice. That's a 50% buff on the fact that you get this with a 30% damage reduction. So on super attack, he's going to look really nice. An additional 30% when you're in the uncontrollable power category ally. So that's a 60% damage reduction, bar none, and you can greatly raise stats. He's a fantastic floater for the uncontrollable team, and because there's only one lead, Technically, I suppose in many a sense it is just movie boss, but technically, I mean, he is the second lead outside of the LR, right? The int. So that's not too bad. Again, having the additional 30%, and look, it looks like basically this is all the same. He has a chance to crit as well as his damage reduction now. His chance to crit maintains when his damage reduction fades. So you actually, for to the 6th turn, can have 90% damage reduction by the time of the 5th and 6th turn. You'd be rocking about 90% damage reduction. But still, then it passes by 80, 70 all the way down, so you lose it. But you still get the 6, but you still get 30% chance to crit. You still get 50% chance to crit here. Right? So with this case, you're gonna be virtually critting. You're gonna have at least 60% damage reduction while greatly raising your stats. It's on really, he is really well built. I gotta admit, it's pretty nice. This is a bit wonky. I suppose if they just built him up with damage reduction and left him at it, that'd be pretty bonkers, right? He'd be immortal. He'd be a free-to-play LR who would be better than most LRs that just come out, period. Like, the only other LR who could actually withstand that would be the tech one, the tech Broly, because even the int doesn't have that. So I guess that's why they've reduced it. Does have an active skill, that's pretty good. Allies in the same turn are in the uncontrollable ally, starting from the 6th turn. So you gotta wait 6 turns. Massively raises attack, that's 100%. Guards all attacks and takes every single attack. You know, it's not so bad. There's a bit of an and ah in this situation, but okay, well, think about this. 60%. Thing is, you get it on super attack. So he does guard, but immediately you're only getting 30% damage reduction. Theoretically, if you procced it on the 6th, which is where you get your maximum damage reduction rate built up, then you're rocking 60% damage reduction. You pop this, you have guard, you probably would be safe. If you can survive the first attack, or first volley of attacks, to when you super attack, you'd be immortal. Then you'd be immortal. But here's the thing. You only get stats on super attack. So you have 0, nothing. Just whatever the 150% of base stats is. You're going to have terrible stats prior to attack, and damage reduction alone is not going to save you. You will suffer. So, and the problem is he directs all the attacks. So, I'm not entirely sure how well he's going to be. It's all well and good that you can guard, but yeah, it's not as if he has 180% prior to super attack. He doesn't. He gets all of his abilities are on there. So he's a floater who pretends to be a slot 1, and he's going to get crushed. Okay, so basically, don't use his active skill. His active skill is just ass. Right, outside of his active skill, which is a bit weird, he's good. Right, no doubt about that. This is all bonkers. Like, if you're gonna make him a slot 1 unit, you can't have this. Seriously, this is weird. What, you expect 60% damage reduction with no stats is gonna work? We've had that. We've had that thing. Remember AGL Zamasu? He had damage reduction, but it didn't matter because he had no stats. So we just died all the time. And that was then difficult content. Okay, well, anyway, Big Bad Bosses is nice. Finally a Broly with Big Bad Bosses. Huh. It took a free-to-play LR Broly. This is the worst depiction of Broly. The movie was one of the worst. The character design is one of the worst. They dead and buried this unit a long time ago. they butchered this unit. So it's the worst Broly ever to come out. It's the least favourable Broly, and it's not even a summonable Broly with like legitimate power. And these guys got big bad bosses. That's right. The first Broly to have it is indeed the worst. Whatever. Okay, right. Granted, same lineage, Berserker, kind of the same deal. Prepare for battle. Yeah. Fear and Faith. That's interesting. Shattering the Limit and Legendary Power. So there's a few good key links in here, right? This will work out with a lot of people. It's just a shame that this is just not going to work with a lot of Brolys. But there's a lot of key and attack links which will be crucial. Artificial Life Forms is an interesting one because I don't know if you get uncontrollable power. We'll check it out. Yeah, movie bosses and Resurrected. So, of course, his best one here is this. But the thing that's setting him down, and what you may also see is some pretty wonky partners, is because he has big bad bosses, and that takes him out. But he fares up well with, like, Cumber. No, I suppose, is it this guy? Because of Fear and Faith. So he would partner up with... Oh, he would have big bad bosses, yeah. So he's got big bad bosses. You're on movie bosses, but not uncontrollable power. This guy, you have uncontrollable power, but no big bad bosses. It's getting a bit screwy now. Movie bosses, big bad bosses, but you're not going to be rocking him on uncontrollable power. So again, you can't use it. This guy, he's probably going to be in line for a super easy A. No big bad bosses. They've given him big bad bosses with a unit that doesn't legitimately have it. Big bad bosses, uncontrollable power. Hey, we found one. Harudegon, perfect. Admittedly, it is a good unit, but you are pushing Harudegon. Uncontrollable power, big bad bosses, Cell Max. Wow, seriously, are you going to rock these two side by side? Really? Well, actually, no, to be fair, because of his damage reduction, with this, that's a big one, right? Potentially, actually, artificial life forms, uncontrollable power, big bad bosses. I can see an argument. I see it, but like this guy, you just pulled this guy. You want a fantastic floater for the uncontrollable power team. Yeah, brilliant. He doesn't have big bad bosses, so you've just wasted a huge portion of his links. Yeah. The movie boss guy, uncontrollable power, but again, key and attack links. Wow. So, pretty bonkers. I mean, at this point, it's all right and well saying that Broly needs big bad bosses, but don't give it this guy because it's too late. Like, these guys need it well and truly too late. But anyway, yeah. So I'm surprised though. Maybe because it's the same name. Of course, Bio Broly the Tech, free to play TUR, who's gonna get an easy A. But yeah, so he would be somewhere in this. You won't have the you won't be able to use it side by side. Obviously, it's the best Bio Broly going. Sure, a little bit weird. Okay, ultimately, there's two flaws. One of them's not really a flaw. So the first flaw is never use the active skill because you'll die. Secondly, the big bad bosses with uncontrollable power. Okay, so you can use it with movie bosses. There are plenty of people here. So all these relevant people are going to be on movie boss. And so that's fine. So you are going to trigger big bad bosses. But since you're not really going to be triggering the... since really you get your damage reduction, an alternate rotation could have... you could have a damage reduction of the additional on per rotation on there. So again, it's depending how you set it up. Since you're not going for the active skill, it's not going to be the worst, and he would have the flexibility of working with others. I would suppose then there's a few others who are going to have big bad bosses, and yeah, right, okay, so, but he's just not on uncontrollable power, which actually admittedly is a bit weird. But so I mean, at some point then there's probably going to be other uncontrollable units with big bad bosses slapped on. That'll be a huge thing going. So you know that remains to be seen. Anyway, that's it. That's it for the video. It's going to be some content to do Are you going to do the grind twice, or are you just going to carry him up? We'll see. Because it is a lot of medals, isn't it? 777 medals times that by 2. 1,554 medals. Yeah, that's, even with boosts, that is no joke. But anyway, yeah, this surprisingly does have a lot of content coming through as Easy A's. You know, but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it that we've got. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. What do you think? I think he's got a little niggle, but I mean, this alone is pretty good, right? I can see it being really nice. But outside of that, his active skill is ass, and you know, the biggest link here is totally useless. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've been the normal playing guy, and you've been a lovely set of sausages. But until then, thank you and goodbye.